Hi everyone, I'm doing my next section of my book, Your Roadmap for Success. You can get there from here. So for me, I've had many successes that I can be grateful for in my life, including being able to work and study and complete my certificate in aromatherapy, mixing and massage of essential oils. That's the most recent one. And I also do ongoing classes towards my HR with the HRPA. I try to get involved where they need me, when they ask me to volunteer. I haven't done anything with them for a long time now because there's always new people coming up and they don't need a lot of volunteers. But I get involved wherever they ask. And we work in the interests of the public. So whether we are spiritual directors or HR professionals or accountants, we're supposed to have that duty to work in the interests of the public and to make sure that the public are taken care of. So that's a special designation that I have with HRPA, aside from my being a spiritual director. And it's something that we try to do to keep our skills upgraded. And it does tie into this John Maxwell as well as my spiritual direction, because if you think about it, when we work in teams. We always work in teams. So one of the other books that I have is this book, A Leader's Heart by John Maxwell. And so I read these devotions in the morning, and they're all based on scripture. So for the Catholics, this month is a month dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And for us too, it's our hearts, we say the emotions come from the heart, but good and bad can come from the heart. And we try to cultivate and nurture a good attitude or good emotions in our choices and in what we do. So I like the scripture from here. It's actually one of my favorite scriptures. It says, "Two are better than one, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken." That's from Ecclesiastes 4, and it's verses 9 and 12. So the history of Canada and the history of America is marked by strong leaders, by individuals who took great risks, and people who were part of teams. You don't find that if we try to do things on our own, yes, we can, it is possible. But normally our accomplishments come from teams, our achievements come from teams. So this chapter today, which I focused on, it was basically looking at the importance of our attitudes. I'm just going to open up the book. So it's asking ourselves, how far can I go? And he gives a powerful example from the 60s of when America landed on the moon, and they were competing with Russia because Russia was ahead of America in the space race. But till today, they have not landed a man on the moon. And America is the only place that has done that because of their attitude, because they have this attitude that they believe things will get better. They believe that they can accomplish great things. And if you grew up like me in Zimbabwe, you have to have that positive attitude. Because if you believe that, oh, we're never going to change things, we're never going to do things, nothing gets better. So that's why we join with others and we get things done. And we might have only done them in a small way, like through our Queen's Club in Kwekwe or through the parish here in Toronto. It might not be great things like landing a man on the moon, but we slowly come together and we achieve things together. And so he's just talking about how that attitude will determine whether we can accomplish things or not. If we don't take action and we don't have positive attitudes, then we're just daydreamers. We're just sitting at home and daydreaming about what could possibly be. If we have a positive attitude without a dream, then we're just pleasant people. We don't actually make progress. We'll start degrees, but we'll never finish them. We'll start studies, but we'll never complete them. We'll start thinking about going on trips, but we'll never take them. So if we have the dream together with a positive attitude, then we have unlimited possibilities and potential. So with all of us, once we reach the age of 21, we are responsible for our actions. We're responsible for our duty towards our country. We're responsible towards other people. And if we only focus on rights, we're only focusing on the past. So we have to focus on the present as well, where we are now and what we can do. Because if we only focus on the past, we are not likely to achieve things. So we value the past, we value what has happened to us, but we learn from it and we move forward with that. Because if we didn't, Zimbabweans would never be able to accomplish anything. We would always be stuck in that past of what colonialism did to us, the scars of war, the hurt, the frustration. We would never graduate, we would never do anything. So it's important to remember that for us who grew up in Zimbabwe. We have limitations with our circumstances, but we can choose how we respond to them. So today, if you look at the tennis today, if you look at Roland Garros, you see Jack Draper's picture or the post they put for him. And even though he didn't win the match, he said, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy that I could play and I'm looking forward to the next match or the next game. So that's what I like about our sports community, especially the tennis community. It's that sportsmanship, it's that way of looking at life that will say, yes, okay, I didn't win this match, I didn't get this time, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to keep focusing on where I want to be, and I'm not going to keep trying. So that's why I like tennis. I don't follow other things. I mean, I follow the swimming when the Olympics is on and the diving, but out of the sports, I don't really follow anything else. So that's just an example about how our circumstances are there, but we have to keep focusing on where we want to be. And also our upbringing. We're not responsible for our upbringing, but also it's out of our control. It's done now. We can only try to help the next generation coming up. We can acknowledge our limitations and we can move beyond what has happened to us. We can move beyond the colonialism, the segregation, the abuse that we went through. I mean, it wasn't easy. Nobody's saying it was easy. Watching people being attacked by dogs, watching the hatred between different races. It wasn't easy. But at the same time, what I do is in the morning, I give thanks for each day. And that's why, like, I take my photos on the balcony. I pay attention to the new life, the changing colors of the leaves. I take the moments to live in the present moment. And that helps me. So you can find your own way of doing that and of bringing yourself into the present. That's what I find helps me. And John Maxwell is just focusing on that in this, focusing on how our attitudes determine what we can do and what we can look at accomplishing. So I think I covered all the points. Yeah, I think I've covered all the points. Just willingness to try to find the best in others, in our circumstances, in our duties, focusing on the solutions and our desire to give. We all want to be able to give. Nobody likes to always be on the receiving end. And even those of us who are volunteering, who are doing things, we're doing it because we want to be able to give to others. We don't want to always be on the receiving end or being made to feel like we're sponging off others, that we're not responsible citizens. We all have a duty to Canada if we're living here, just like we have a duty and responsibility to those we left behind who may be not as fortunate as us. And, it's even just basic things like turning on the tap and you have clean water, or, living in a nice place, a clean space, living in your own space. It's just the basic things of life that we try to focus on and to achieve. And it also means that we don't give up, but we focus on, in times of stress, like what are 3 things that we can do to alleviate stress. So for me, I journal, I swim, I walk. Those are 3 things I like to do. Or I take my photographs. Other people may find other things they like to do. Or you can find a positive person that you can talk to. That's another way that you can overcome the stress or overcome focusing on how hard it is right now. Because it is hard. People are using food banks in Canada. People can't make ends meet, including me. And if you don't have a job and you're sitting and applying, and it's over a year, and you're networking, you're joining calls, you're hopping on programs for learning, you're doing everything you can, it can get very discouraging. But if we have a good attitude and we persevere and we're persistent, that breakthrough will come, but we have to be persistent. So that was the chapter today, and focusing on teams. When we do things together, we can help each other, and if we tell people what we're going through, what's happening, then other people can help us. If we're only keeping it to ourselves or to our immediate family, people can't help us. I tell people in the community, I tell my church, I tell my pastor, I'm looking for a job. There's people in the parish that have their own businesses. Can you speak to them for me? Can you tell them I'm looking for something? I need to get an income coming in. I tell my landlord, I tell the condo manager, I tell the security guards, I tell everybody. And I ask them to tell other people, because that's the only way we can get the word out. Whether it's my job search, or whether it's the speaking I'm doing for John Maxwell, or whether it's fundraising. That's why people market. That's why people send out flyers. That's why people have that dream, even that dream of landing on the moon. The sad part is that President Kennedy never got to see it. He wasn't alive when they landed on the moon. But he gave people that hope, that vision, that America is great, and that we have a duty to our country. That's the same way that we grew up, that we have a duty to our country. In Zimbabwe, that's how I grew up. That's what my dad used to tell us. You have a duty to Rhodesia. You have a duty to this country. So this thing of rights and, rights being enshrined in documents, I only encountered it as I started growing up. Because I think for us, we didn't have rights to begin with as visible minorities growing up in Zimbabwe. So we don't really focus on that. We focus on what our duties are, how we can fulfill them, how we can give to others. But if you don't have, you can't give to others. If I'm bankrupt and I don't have any money, how can I give money to others? How can I pay my rent? How can I meet my responsibilities? I can't. So that's why I'm saying I'm looking for work and I'm looking to get that income coming in. And yes, I do things to help others with videos like this. I post my music so people can see how I play. But at the end of the day, we all need money to live. And we exchange our skills, we exchange our services to get that money coming in. So that's the chapter for today. And it's really focusing on our attitudes, our teamwork, and our duty towards our country. That's what it's focusing on. So I hope it helps you. And if you do know anybody that's looking for somebody with my skills, by all means get in touch or put my name forward. I'm happy to work. And I've been doing this for free. So that tells you something about my being passionate about it, even helping in the church. I've done everything for free. So I want to get that income coming in so that I'm not going to be a burden on my family and my friends and have to take their hard-earned money. I want to be able to give that money to others now. And when I give, I don't make people feel bad about it. I don't drill them and grill them and question them. I give freely. And I want to be able to do that because for me, that's a joy and I like doing it.